Good evening and welcome to the news roundup for Monday, March 13. I am Abigail Smythe. Now, before we get into the news, please remember to like this video, share your views in the comments, and share the video with your family and friends.
Teach them! Always make sure the message reach them!
Now for the news in detail. The delegates of the Jamaica Teachers Association, JTA, have voted to accept the government's latest wage offer. It is understood that of the 784 teachers who voted Sunday evening, 629 voted to accept. That's 80% of the delegates. 147 voted to reject the offer. That's 19% of the delegates. 8 delegates abstained. Sources say there was a marginal increase in the wage offer, which will see trained graduates receiving $25,000 in additional salary in year 2 and $50,000 in year 3. The teachers staged 4 days of protest last week, causing widespread disruption across the education sector, and Sunday evening's vote came days after 60% of the teachers voted to reject the offer. And the Jamaica Medical Doctors Association, JMDA, has voted to accept the wage offer proposed by the government. Sources say 95% of the JMDA members who voted chose to accept the offer. The association's president, Dr. Mindy Fitz-Henley, says while the improved offer was not perfect, it contained many things that they have lobbied for decades, such as the creation of permanent posts for doctors on contract. Immigration officers employed to the Passport, Immigration and Citizenship Agency PICA continued their industrial action on Monday. PICA officers at the country's 2 major airports went on strike over the unsettled negotiation with the government under the compensation review exercise. Last Friday, immigration officers employed to PICA staged a sick-out in response to what they say is a failure of both the Ministry of Finance and PICA management to properly address the issues surrounding the restructuring efforts. Friday's protest action forced employees in management positions to fill the vacancies left at both airports and seaports. General Secretary of the National Workers Union, Granville Valentine, is calling on the PICA management to address the employees' concerns.
It is stick out, sitting, and there are some persons who is on go slow. We could not allow for the airport to be totally stranded. And we hope that the good sense will prevail and that they will take the necessary actions. The management will take, not the management in this moment, it is the government with in the form of the Ministry of Finance. The management last year did a reclassification but left out the immigration officers. Now, as a result, the PICA worker is behind in this compensation review. The workers have said to us that clearly that the teachers have taken action and they have been successful. Customs, who work alongside them, have protested and they have been successful. PAJ has been successful, doctors, etc. And as a result, they are saying that they are the only ones left behind because their management failed to represent them sufficiently.
Some of the immigration officers are concerned about their salaries and say they have not been reclassified to accommodate the new compensation scheme and have been adversely affected by the changes which were put in place last December. They have also expressed that while the lack of communication from the agency's management forms part of the reason for the sick-out staged last week, they are also frustrated generally at the treatment they receive. The Trelawney police have confirmed that they have taken a man into custody in connection with the shooting death of a 2-year-old boy in Mac Hill in the parish Sunday night. The child has been identified as Adrian Campbell. Reports are that around 7:30 p.m., Adrian, his mother, and her boyfriend went to purchase ice cream at a shop in Mac Hill. While in their car, they were approached by a man with whom they had a dispute. The man brandished a handgun and opened fire, hitting baby Adrian, who was sitting in the back seat of the car. The shooter then fled the scene on foot while the wounded child was rushed to the Falmouth Hospital where he was pronounced dead. The alleged shooter was picked up by the police during an operation in Duncan's Trelawney Sunday night.
About 8 p.m. Sunday, March 12, 2023, the Trelawney police responded to a report of shooting which allegedly occurred at Mackhill District in the Clarkstone police area of the parish. Our response was multifaceted in that we had one unit proceeding directly to the scene of the alleged crime, while another was involved in stop and search operation along a critical corridor leading from the alleged scene of crime. Our investigation so far has revealed that two cousins, namely Ricardo Brown, O.C. Ricky, and Anthony Findlay, were embroiled in a conflict, during which Findlay left the scene of the conflict and returned with a firearm which he used to open fire at Brown, who was seated in his Honda motor car. The shot missed Brown and hit Adrian Campbell, a 2-year-old infant who was seated in the rear of the said Honda motor car. Campbell was rushed to the Falmouth General Hospital, where he was pronounced dead on arrival. Ricardo Findlay was apprehended by the team of police conducting the stop and search in the Duncan police area, where we suspect that he was in the process of fleeing the jurisdiction. He is currently in police custody whilst investigation in the incident is ongoing.
A 22-year-old man was gunned down in Anotobe, St. Mary, Saturday night. He has been identified as Odain Martin, a construction worker. It is understood that shortly after 10 o'clock, Martin was sitting outside a shop after it had closed using the Wi-Fi. According to residents, several shots were then heard. Martin's body was found shortly after with gunshot wounds. His death comes less than a week after his mother's grocery shop was burnt down and a month after the hardware store where he was working was also torched. The Anotobe police are investigating. Police investigators are to question a man in relation to the death of his 14-year-old son in Inverness, Alexandria, St. Anne. The deceased is Cashwin Nevers. Reports are that the teenager was at a wake when his father accosted him at the event and left the scene. A video circulating on social media purportedly shows a male said to be Cashwin dancing in the presence of other persons at the wake when a man is seen taking him from off the ground and pulling him away by the arm. In the video, an individual can be heard saying, quote, "Na kill him daddy," end quote, as the two appear to leave the event. Police report that around 1:30 Saturday morning, Cashwin's body was found outside his gate. It had a wound to the head. Residents later went in search of the teen's father, who was found and handed over to the police. The St. Andrew Central Police have launched a probe into some viral prank videos in which men are seen staging fake robberies of persons at ATMs and outside of banks. The Jamaica Constabulary Forces Corporate Communications Unit says the incidents have been observed in Halfway Tree. The police are urging anyone who may have been a victim of these pranksters, whether captured in the viral videos or not, to come forward and make a formal report to the Halfway Tree Police. The JCF says these pranks are irresponsible and insensitive and have severe physical, psychological, social, civil, and criminal implications. The constabulary notes that such pranks can potentially escalate into dangerous situations and cause physical harm to innocent people, which is not a laughing matter. The police are encouraging members of the public to remain vigilant and report any suspicious activities to the authorities. Additionally, the JCF is urging citizens who may be considering engaging in these pranks to refrain from doing so. Concern is being raised that some security companies have been forcing security guards to resign and sign one-year contracts ahead of an April 1 timeline. This timeline is for transitioning the guards from being contract workers to employees. Last September, the Supreme Court ruled that security guards were employees and not independent contractors. President of the Union of Clerical, Administrative and Supervisory Employees, Vincent Morrison, says it's unfortunate that the companies are trying to circumvent the process even after the court ruling. Mr. Morrison says the move by the security companies is illegal. Trade unionist Helene Davis White is calling for Jamaican workers to be made aware of the skills needed and be properly trained for the sustainability of the Overseas Farm Work program. She says, based on her observations, some of the jobs that currently exist could become obsolete due to an increase in the use of technology and modern farming practices. Mrs. Davis White adds that there needs to be dialogue between farm operators and the respective government agencies to inform prospective workers of these needed skills as changes occur. And the Cabinet is set to consider a proposal for an increase in the stipend paid to persons serving as jurors. The proposal comes amid ongoing challenges in securing persons to serve on jury panels in the respective courts across the island. Director of the Court Administration Division, Tricia Cameron Anglin, says Justice Minister Delroy Chuck is to take the matter to Cabinet. For months, justice stakeholders have been raising concerns about the difficulty in finding Jamaicans willing to serve on juries. Persons have cited the low stipend as a reason for staying away from service. Jurors currently receive a stipend of $2,000 per day, up from $500 in 2015. Mrs. Cameron Anglin says the proposal for a further increase in the stipend has received a favorable response from the policymakers. In business news, Jamaica has welcomed non-stop air service from Kansas City International Airport in Missouri to Montego Bay's Sangster International Airport by Southwest Airlines. The new flight will operate once weekly on Saturdays starting October 7 and is now available for booking. Minister of Tourism Edmund Bartlett says the move is a testament to the strength and ongoing appeal of Jamaica's tourism product among U.S. travelers. The new flight will be the only non-stop service from the Kansas City market, opening this important area to destination Jamaica. In the region, tourism in the Caribbean is now alive and well and is recovering from the impacts of the COVID-19 pandemic. This, according to the latest statistics. The Caribbean Tourism Organization, CTO, revealed that the Caribbean accounted for 3.1% of all arrivals worldwide, with 28.3 million registered tourist visits in the Caribbean by the end of 2022. This is 52.4% more than the tourists in 2021. While the 3.1% is down 1 percentage point from the historically high share of 4.1% recorded in 2021, the CTO says the numbers still look promising. According to data from the World Tourism Organization, 2022 saw close to 917 million people traveling. And on the international scene, an unrelenting cyclone Freddy that is currently battering southern Africa has killed at least 56 people in Malawi and Mozambique since it struck the continent for a second time Saturday night. Local police say 51 people in Malawi, including 36 in Chilobwe, have died, with several others missing or injured. Authorities in Mozambique report that 5 people have been killed in the country since Saturday. The deaths in Malawi include 5 members of a single family. The cyclone lashed over Mozambique and Malawi over the weekend and into Monday. It's the second time the record-breaking cyclone, which has been causing destruction in southern Africa since late February, made landfall in mainland Africa. It also pummeled the island states of Madagascar and Reunion as it traversed across the ocean. And finally, in sports news, World Under-20 Championship gold medal winner, 18-year-old Jaden Hibbert, broke the World Under-20 record and the Jamaican junior and senior marks. He jumped a gigantic 17.54 meters to win the men's triple jump on Saturday's final day of the NCAA Division I Indoor Championship in Albuquerque, New Mexico. There were 4 Jamaican winners on the night, including a sweep of the men's and and women's high jumps by Romaine Beckford of the University of South Florida and Lamara Distin of Texas A&M University. Akira Nugent of the University of Arkansas won her second women's 60-meter hurdles title. Hibbert also won the Jamaican Senior Championships last year, as well as the Carifta Games Under-20 Gold. And that's it for your news roundup for today. Please remember to like the video, leave a comment, and share the video with your family and friends. I am Abigail Smythe. Have a good evening and see you next time.
Teach them! Hey, yo, hello! Send the message and make it reach them. It's teach them. Right here, Warlord representing.
Thank you for watching. Like the video before you go. Please subscribe if you haven't done so. And remember to share the video with your friends and family. And browse the channel for more quality content. Until next time, walk good, my friends.
Teach them!